Hey guys, welcome back to Jason and Joni Builds, formerly Mustang Rehab. If you remember our previous video, we talked about the name change, and I guess that's what we're going to go with. You guys give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and today our video is sponsored by jonb Custom Fabrication. We talked about them on our last video. Good people, got a lot of parts for Broncos, for our transfer cases. They have twin stick shifter kits for all kinds of different applications. They offer more than I can remember at the moment. They're just it's a well-built setup US company. See their link in our description. We are going to use their kit in this Dana 20 rebuild today. So you guys stay tuned. I mentioned in the last video, I'm not an expert on the Dana 20 rebuild. I've disassembled them. I've disassembled them to put gaskets in them or seals in them before. I've never tore one down completely. I've researched it. I've been online. I looked at the forums. So hopefully I have the information I need. If not, I know there's plenty of people I can call. But I feel confident that we can do this. No problem. I've got the tools to do it. So let's tear into it, and hopefully this will be a good video for you guys. Hopefully it'll be step by step, and we'll do this together. So first thing we need to do is get our detents out and our shift rail linkage. We're going to get it pulled off, so I need to get it flipped over. Make sure you drain the oil out of the transfer case. Alright, we'll go ahead and pull this linkage loose. It's just a little cotter pin on either side. As you guys see, I've got me some nice white paper put down. I've cleaned it so I can see what I'm doing, and it's just really the right way to do it. So with here you have your spring ball. Your detent ball is in this one. I do know there's not a ball spring in it. Oops. Use this little magnet here. Pull that out. Ball. Get this plug pulled. And we do the same thing on the other side. This is a pressure transducer magnet. It works well. There we go. Get the spring out. And the ball. Guys, I neglected to say I already removed the adapter from the transfer case. It stayed with the manual transmission because I'm going to the AOD. But basically, I've ordered the kit. It hasn't showed up. Should be here tomorrow. But I did remove the gear and the snap ring. I'll need to use with the new stub shaft and all. So if you haven't already removed your adapter, you'll pull it out. But be wary. Inside there's your shaft rides inside this other gear, and you'll have 15, 16 bearings out. I forget the number, but they'll be stacked in here, and you pull it apart. More than likely, you're gonna drag the bearings out with it. So just know you'll have a little bit of a mess. Actually, the bearings are in there. You'll see them along with the bolts. Okay, we've got that done. We're gonna flip the transfer case over and remove the inspection cover and remove the yokes. All right, we're gonna move our cover plate. Plate off. Nasty. All right. First inspection, the gears look good. We're doing this so we can replace the bearings, and we're going to put in the new JB Fabrication shift rails. So the upgraded shift rails. Plus, this is the time you can do all your seals because this thing was leaking like a sieve. So no need not to go ahead and put bearings and everything in it now too. All right, so we're going to go ahead and remove the idler shaft here in the transmission, or the transfer case. This in the retainer. And I believe we're going to knock it back out. I'm just using a soft, just a piece of soft steel to drive it out. I can hear the bearings. This is one thing I was warned about. You have needle bearings running on the inside of this gear, so just be mindful of that. Let's see, and your thrush washers. I'm gonna try to keep up, make sure I don't lose which one on which side. So just take your time. Oh man, yep, thrush washer. This thrush washer is on this side. Alright. You guys see the bearings in there? Alright. So I'm just keeping all this together in the direction it came out. And then I did drop a few down inside there, which is no problem. We got to clean it up anyways. Okay, we're going to remove the flanges, both sides. It's an 1 1/8 inch socket. We'll have to get a puller and get those pulled off here in just a second. Let me get this other one removed. Alright guys, I've got an old harmonic balancer puller. And that's what I'm going to use to pull these yokes off. Should work. We'll find out. See guys, I'm not this big production place. I have to use what I have, and hopefully what I use here on this show is stuff that you guys have laying around too. Let's see how easy this comes off. It may not be easy at all. That wasn't bad. Guys, I just compared the yokes. I figured they might be the same, but these two aren't the same. They're made just a little bit different. So I'm going to mark them like you would a rod. I'm just going to give it 2 dots there, and then 2 dots here. I'll remember that, and that way I'll make sure I get the yoke. I get the yoke put back on the right side if it matters. I don't know that. I'm just, again, being cautious. That's that. All right, we're going to remove our rear housing. Alright guys, so now we need to remove our rear adapter assembly. A bearing is basically a bearing housing for the rear end, and what I'm using is the same soft punch I had a minute ago. And there's a nice place in there where I can drive against. Oh, Lord have mercy, that come out quicker than I expected. Well, just like that, folks. Now we can lift our gear out, get it out of the shift fork. That's right. So we're going to move to the other side now. Well guys, there's a set screw in your shift fork, and I have to remove that. Yeah, she's got it right on it. And I got an Allen wrench for it. Look at that, it was loose. That's kind of scary. That's definitely not something you'd want bouncing around inside of a transfer case anyways. Wow. Well, I'm glad John sent me these. They didn't look quite as bad as it did. That grease really made them look like they were wore out. All right, guys, we're gonna remove the rear cover, and everything I've read says keep up with your shims. So I got me a zip tie here, and I'm not sure how many it's gonna have. Let's see. Alright, that's steel. 1, 2, 3 shims. We'll check the measurement on all those. Like I read, I'm just gonna tie strap those together. You can see Johnny's got me laying it out, getting it off the table so I have a little more room to work. Alright, we're gonna move the front now. Okay, and what they say is before you go any further, you want to tap your shaft back this way so you knock your bearing out the back side. Instead of hammering on my threads there, we'll use a socket. Okay guys, I just ran the nut on there just a little bit because I don't want to hammer against those threads. And this way we can knock the bearing out the back. Alright, just like that. Alright, now I need to get this nut back off. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get this front cover off, bearing cover. Here's probably the worst part about this whole job. I found that this is quite a pain. The snap ring is between the bearing and the drive gear there. Okay, yeah, you're looking at it. It's hard to make it out. I can't stick anything in there because it'll cover the shot up. Anyways, I have this cheap pair of snap ring pliers, and I had to really grind them thin so it'll fit in there. What I'm going to do is, what I've read is that you may end up distorting this snap ring getting it out, but there's no real easy way to do it. I'm going to get the pliers in there, put some pressure on it, and then I'm just going to take my hammer and gently tap the shaft and see if we can get it to jump up over the groove and be able to separate it. Sorry, this is kind of that hard part that it's going to be hard for me to film. I'll do the best I can. Man, I got a really good hold on that bearing, on that snap ring. Okay guys, I had to revert back to my old lawnmower days and get out my old, actually, I always talk about my granddad's tools. This was an old engine rebuilding block that we used to rebuild engines on. It's hollow on the inside, so the shaft would sit inside. Anyways, so that way I can let my bearing and shaft sit there and let gravity hold this gear set down. And I was able to spread this snap ring. I haven't got it out all the way, but I do have it started. I got these little pliers in here. I can't tell you an easy way to do it. I'm just showing you what I did. I ground this one off. You stick it in here and spread it out. Well, I finally got it up over the groove by just tapping. I put the nut on the shaft and put my socket on it. And I've got it moving now, so the bearing should continue to drive out and we'll get this thing separated. So that was a booger. I'll be straight honest with you guys, but you can do it. It took me a little while to figure it out. So let's see if this thing will come apart. There it goes. Whew, thank goodness. That's it. There's our bearing. And there's the ring. And just like the forum said, it might get distorted a little bit from what you have to do, but it's out and we can straighten that back up and reuse it. There you go. Well, worst part of the rebuild right there so far. Okay. Here's our shaft. And our gear set. We'll just lift it right over the shift fork. So now, lastly, we need to get this other shift fork out. I'm going to take out this set screw real quick, and then we can slide out this last shaft. Alright guys, that's the teardown, the complete disassembly of the Dana 20. I would say the worst part was the snap ring, and like I told you guys, this box was very helpful, being able to hold this thing up so the part could drop out through the bottom. Thanks again to Granddaddy. This is again one of his tools. So we were cleaning up 3 weeks ago and I almost threw it in the pile, and I just couldn't do it. She looked at me funny. I just put it back over on the wall. I can't get rid of it. So just today is a perfect reason. A cheap pair of snap ring pliers is very useful. Like I said, these are really cheap. I ground them off. They fit in there. And patience, and it'll come apart. So I'm going to spend the rest of the day cleaning this up, clean all the gasket material off, and we'll get it ready. In the next video, we'll remove the bearings and put new bearings on and reassemble it. So appreciate you guys watching. Thanks, thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good day.